What's up, guys? And as you can obviously tell, I'm bringing you a different type of video today. This is going to be my top 10 horror games of all time. Now, there are a couple rules I set in place. As you can imagine, I'm only going to put games on the list that I have played, and there is only going to be one game per franchise. I'm looking at you, Silent Hill and Resident Evil. So without further ado, let's get into it. Number 10.
I was born in Moscow, but I remember nothing of that time.
Metro 2033 is number 10 on my list because it's kind of like Call of Duty mixed with Dead Space, mixed with Condemned. It's a really weird sort of hybrid FPS horror thing. It's a lot of guns, lots of big guns, lots of shoot 'em up bang bangs, but it has some pretty freaky moments. One word. No, two words. Fucking spiders. Yeah, like this game can be pretty freaky at times, especially on the missions where you're by yourself. Oh, the librarians are pretty creepy. I'm not just gonna say they're creepy. They're scary in the fact that they will fuck your shit up. But yeah, will I be making a Let's Play of this on the channel? Absolutely. I've played through the entire thing. I liked it a lot. So, yeah. Great game. Very underrated. In my opinion, everybody should play it. It's really good. So, moving on to the next one.
In a war to determine the very existence of our species.
Number 9. Next game up on the list is a little game called BioShock. Now, I know a lot of you are going to say, "Hey, wait a second, that's not a horror game. You're stupid. That's an action adventure game. It has guns. That can't be scary." Well, fuck you. This is my show. And I say BioShock is a horror game. It's pretty freaky, in my opinion. So basically, what it is you play as a guy named Jack. I'm pretty sure that's his name. And we don't know shit about Jack, except he's on a plane and he's a picture of his family, and then the plane crashes and he goes into the water and he comes out of the water and there's a lighthouse, and you go in the lighthouse and there's a statue of Andrew Ryan, and he's kind of a dick. But yeah, Andrew Ryan's not a nice guy. And he sends splicers after you to kill you. Now basically, the splicer is the enemy of the game. I don't think there's big daddies, but they're not, they're only enemies if you decide to make them enemies. Splicers are basically, they're like drug addicts. It's like Condemned, but in a surreal, cool 1950s, 60s stylized place. It's really awesome, really good game. It's honestly, at some points it looks beautiful. The soundtrack's fantastic. Not the best, but it's good. Anyway, has some really good moments. Dr. Steinman and the one artsy guy, I can't remember his name. I'm too lazy to look it up. So yeah, BioShock. Check it out. It's worth your time. Number 8. Number 8 is Alan Wake, which I think is like the only game on this list that went through development hell. This game almost didn't even see the light of day. It was originally supposed to be supposed to come out on disc, but it just went through all this bullshit, and eventually just came out as a Xbox 360 arcade exclusive. It eventually did. They did make a disc version of it, but it was like one of the first games ever that I can think of to have the episodic thing, which is really popular now with Telltale and everything. But yeah, it's actually really, really, really good. It has a lot of creepy, dark moments. The writing is fantastic. The ending is meh. It's a little confusing. But Alan Wake 2 is rumored to be in the making right now, so I'm really excited about that. But the writing, oh man, and the voice acting is perfect. It's great. Lots of amazing cinematic moments. The graphics hold up pretty well, especially considering it's an arcade title, not a full release. But, you know, hey, it's a really good game, really creepy. There's a cool like system of fighting where the darkness, the dark people, like they're like shadow people, and you have to kill them. But the only way you can kill them is if you use light. Light basically like takes their shields down and makes them vulnerable to other weapons, such as guns. I don't think there is a melee weapon in this game. I think it's all just guns. Your best friend is the flare gun. That thing is great. Now, if you haven't already, check this game out. I actually have an entire playthrough of this entire game on my on the channel. So check that out if you haven't seen it yet. Anyway, that's number 8. Moving on. Number 7! Jesus, that hurts. Okay, let me just get one thing clear. Alien Isolation, cinematically, is a fan-freaking-tastic game. This game is beautiful. It has some of the most, like, amazing set designs. I'm talking like it's a movie. But, like, the shots and, like, the graphics and just, like, the environments are amazing. They're fantastic. But it's a little bit stale gameplay-wise. Don't get me wrong. This game is terrifying. But the reason it is in my opinion, is a lot, well, not in my opinion, but in a lot of people's opinions, this might be the first technical horror game on the list. This game is one of the most terrifying games I've played within the past 2 years. I'm just going to be honest. This game is absolutely terrifying. It goes along the route of Amnesia, where you pretty much don't have weapons. You can't fight back against the xenomorph, which for those of you who don't know is the alien. But the thing you can fight back against, which is the stale part, are the synthetic android things that are stupid and not scary and get really, really fucking boring. So yeah, that's pretty much my one complaint. The synthetics, like they're just not interesting or scary. They're just a nuisance. They're really annoying, and it goes on for a little too long. Now, if my advice, if you want to get a good scare, survival mode is where it's at. Survival mode's great. Campaign's a little long, little drawn out. It gets a little too lengthy at the end, especially when, like, I don't want to spoil it, but nothing really happens in the end. It's great for huge fans of the Alien franchise, which, don't get me wrong, I like Alien 1 and I like Alien. I like Aliens. Alien and Alien Resurrection, we just don't talk about that movie, or the Alien vs. Predator movies. But for hardcore Alien fans, this game's great. This game's great because it goes into stuff that, like, I didn't particularly care about towards the end. Like, I was just kind of like, it's whatever. But if you're really big in Alien, this game's great. And if you want a good scare, survival mode. So yeah, Alien Isolation. Check it out. Number 6! The Evil Within came out in 2014, and a horror game being made by Bethesda, especially with the trailer that we saw in like 2012 or whenever it came out, we were hyped. Everyone was hyped. This game was going to be like the renewal. It was going to be like the kickstart of the horror genre again, because the horror genre had been dead for a while, and this was going to be the revamp of AAA games, AAA horror games. And then it came out, and everyone was kind of disappointed. Even I was pretty disappointed. But I've thought about it. I've played the game. I've beaten it. And the reason we were disappointed is because it was way, way, way overhyped. The game is actually very good. I don't care what anyone says, the game is good. Okay? Like, just because we had unreasonable expectations doesn't mean the game was bad. It's exactly what happened with Watch Dogs. Watch Dogs was not a bad game in any means. It was a very good game. It's just your expectations, our expectations, my expectations were high too, were way past what was what was given to us. So that's what the main problem is. Now, the game pays lots of respect to Resident Evil, especially the first game, with a lot of the there's a scene that's straight up just bam, hey, remember Resident Evil? And a lot of you, if you've seen the game or played the game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It also has another really good mechanic that Alien Isolation had, where you can hide in closets. Oh yeah, did I mention in Alien Isolation you can hide in closets? So anyway, yeah, the game's really good, really freaky, really gory. Holy shit, there is a lot of blood in this game. Just viscera everywhere. But yeah, it's a great survival horror game. I don't care what anyone says. It has it's a good combination of action and horror, not the clusterfuck that Resident Evil 6 was. It's good. Go play it if you haven't played it yet. It's fun. Number 5! Now you've all heard of this one, Dead Space. It's iconic. Back when this game came out, it was amazing. I keep saying that with a lot of these games, like, oh, it's amazing, it's really bloody, it's really gory. But this was like the pioneer of the blood and the gore and the, like, it was just, this game is great. This was actually the second, yes, this was the second horror game that I had ever played my entire life, and it scared the shit out of me. Little middle school me didn't know what to do with this game, man. I beat like the first 3 chapters and I was done. I couldn't go further. I ended up taking it back and I traded it in at GameStop for like $2, and I ended up having to, I've bought it again in the recent years just so I can play through it again because I'm not so much of a puss now. Well, I'm still a puss, but I can still get through. I can at least get through the game. But this game is great. It is terrifying when you're walking through the corridors of the Ishimura. Just there's ventilation shafts everywhere where the necromorphs can just pop out and just, oh my god, the noises and the sounds and the atmosphere. When there's a moment in it's very close to the beginning where you're walking through the hallways and everything, and all the lights go out and you can't see diddly squat. You can't see diddly dick. Okay? And that freaked me out as a kid. I had no clue what to do. I went into like a catatonic state. I couldn't move. I was so freaked out, and the noises and the babies. Oh, the babies. And please excuse any of the terrible gameplay that you see with this or any of the upcoming games, because I haven't played them in a while. So forgive me. I know I'm terrible, and I haven't played them, and it looks god-awful. That's because it is god-awful, and I haven't played them in a long time. I know I'm a piece of shit for not playing them in a long time, but hey, what you gonna do? Anyway, Dead Space, great game. I would say that's the best. Well, obviously, I think it's the best one out of the series, and I think a lot of people would agree. Great game. Check it out. Number 4. Resident Evil 4. This was the first horror game I ever played. Ever. I swear. The first horror game. Man. I played it back on when I played my PS2 all the time, when that was my main console. This game scared me. This game freaked me out, especially with Salvador. I think that's his name. Salvador is Salvador, the chainsaw dude. Oh my god, with the burlap sack and everything. This game is iconic. It is a one-of-a-kind, and whether you think it steered the Resident Evil franchise in a direction that was for better or worse, it's one of the most beloved horror games of all time, and it holds a special place in my heart. Obviously, in my opinion, this is the best Resident Evil game ever made. I know there's a lot of people who agree with me. I know I'm alone on that in some respects, because a lot of people don't like this game because they don't like what eventually it led to the series becoming, which I agree with. Resident Evil 5 wasn't terrible. It wasn't great. It wasn't necessarily good. It wasn't terrible. But Resident Evil 6, it was well, we won't get into that. That's a subject for another video on another day. We're talking about Resident Evil 4. This game introduced, and it's no longer the T-virus with the zombies. Now, if I got that wrong, I'm gonna sound like an idiot, and people are gonna freaking roast me in the comments. But it's really freaky, especially with Salazar. Oh, Salazar is such a prick. If all of you know who have played the game or have seen someone else play the game, which, by the way, I'm going to be doing a Let's Play of this game too. All the games I've talked about that I haven't made a Let's Play of yet, I'm going to do. I promise. I swear to you, I will. I'm not. I won't. I will. I might not finish it, but I will start a series of it. But Salazar, oh my God, he's such a dick. So is the big cheat. The characters are very hateable. The bad guys, which is a good thing. You don't want to like them. And I would say that Salvador is one of the scariest, and the right-hand guy of Salazar is pretty creepy too. But he's an easy boss fight if you know what you're doing. I mean, I guess you could just cheat and anyway, you'll see. That's Resident Evil 4. Everyone should play it. It's like one of the great gems of the PS2 era. Anyway, moving on to the next one. Number 3. Oh, Condemned. Oh, Condemned. Condemned Criminal Origins was a launch title on the Xbox 360 back in 2005, 2006. Good God, I can't imagine going to the store and buying a 360 and that being the first game that I buy for the system, that being the first game that I play. I wouldn't want to return. My experience would be ruined. This game gets to me, man. It's so freaky, especially with the footage I'm going to show. You'll know what I'm talking about. Mannequins. God damn, are mannequins scary. I didn't show the main mannequin part, which I'm not going to, because I'm going to keep that on the DL if anyone else wants to play and doesn't want to know about that, because that's one of the most iconic things in horror games that has been copied and pasted in crappy indie developed pieces of shit Steam greenlit games. But when that sequence first happened, and that was the first thing, oh my God, when no one had ever seen it before, that was amazingly terrifying. This game gets to you psychologically. You don't know what's going to be around the next. Well, you do know, but it's set up in a way that's very. You don't necessarily know which is an enemy and which isn't, unless you've played through the game before, which I've played through it twice now. I did once for the channel, and then I played it again because, dude, it's one of my favorites. Obviously, it's number 3. So, yeah, this game is fantastic. So you play as Ethan, who is an FBI agent. Basically, the entire game is you just go around and you go in abandoned buildings and you shoot. Well, you don't really shoot. You very rarely get guns. I tried my hardest to find all the guns in my playthrough, which you can find on the channel. I did a complete. This is another reason why this game holds a great place in my heart, because this was my first completion. Like, this is the first game I ever completed on the channel. Anyway, back to what I was saying. In my playthrough, I tried to find all the guns. I didn't succeed because there's an achievement for it. Anyway, game's great. Check it out. I've always been really interested in like exploring abandoned buildings and everything. Not after this game. Well, I mean, I still do, but God, every time I go in a place it's like been abandoned, no one's touched it for years with friends or something, I always get flashbacks of this. I would never go into an abandoned building at night, especially after playing this. Maybe that should be a challenge. Maybe one day for like a Halloween special, I should play like an hour of this game, and then go exploring an abandoned building at like 2 in the morning. That'd be fun. Have my friends like set up like scares for me. That'd be awesome. I don't know, food for thought. Anyways, check it out. Fantastic horror game. Number 2. Cry of Fear. Oh God. This is definitely the scariest game on my list, for sure. It's not my favorite, but it is the scariest. I mean, it's number 2. That's pretty damn close to my number 1. But this is the only game that I haven't finished on the channel for the sole purpose because I couldn't put myself through it. This game, I've never quit a game out of fear. Well, I mean, I've quit games out of fear, but I've always gone back to them. Like I said in Dead Space, I played it as a kid, but I was a kid and I couldn't. When I started playing this game, I was 15 or 16, and I couldn't finish it. I just could not finish it, man. I haven't gone back to it. I have not gone back. I also think I lost my save, so I'd have to go all the way back through the game, back to the point where I freaking screamed and yelled like a little bitch and turned it off. That happened quite a lot during that Let's Play was very vulgar, for the fact that I was just constantly shitting my pants in fear. Oh man, though, and the best part about it is it's completely free. The game doesn't cost a single dime. 100% free. That is just the greatest thing. That has inspired me to, like, I've always wanted to make a video game, and the fact that these guys made this amazing horror mod for free and just released it not charging a single dime, and they could easily, and I would honestly, they have you can donate to them, which I would like to, because the game, it's worth it. It's so worth it. They could easily charge $30. Yes, the graphics may look primitive, and they are, but that does not change the fact that this game is absolutely terrifying, man. Oh God, it just gets under my skin. Like, the worst enemies are the women in the white nightgowns with the babies that come out of their stomachs with the knives. Oh God, man, I don't know if I could go back to that game. I really don't. It's like Silent Hill on steroids. Oh, Jesus. Anyway, speaking of Silent Hill, number 1. Silent Hill 2. Now, I know you're thinking, hey, you haven't beaten that yet. You still have, like, a series going on the channel that you haven't gone back to. Yes, I know this. I know. And I am going back to it. Now, I realize in my early episodes of Silent Hill 2, I was bashing on this game a lot. I realized that I was stupid. I wasn't looking into it. I've recently read more about the game, read more about the symbolism. I understand more. Yes, is the voice acting hokey? Of course. It's a Konami game from like 2000, what, 2002, 2003? Maybe 2005. I don't know when it was made. Don't quote me on that. It's old, okay? And Konami has never had great voice acting, ever, in any of their games that I can think of. I mean, look at Silent Hill 1. Silent Hill 3 wasn't that bad, but Silent Hill 2. Silent Hill 2 pretty bad. It's pretty bad when it comes to voice acting, but the symbolism in this game it's genius. It's absolutely genius. And I'll go into that more when I start the series up again. I've just been working on a lot of side projects, and with school and everything, it's been kind of hard to run the channel and do everything at the same time. But let's get back to what we're talking about. I keep getting sidetracked on these. Let's get back to the game. This game is the number 1 best horror game of all time, in my opinion, and I think it will be the number 1 best horror game of all time. It is because it has a gripping story. It has likable and hateable characters. It is the environments. Oh man, the environments are so creepy, and the sound design and the music. This is the Silent Hill 2 score. Well, not score, but the Silent Hill 2 soundtrack is the best video game soundtrack I have ever heard in my entire life. BioShock was good. Silent Hill 2 is just fantastic. It's amazing. And I've listened to the other Silent Hill 2, not Silent Hill 2, I've listened to the other Silent Hill soundtracks. I have 1 through 4 on my phone. I don't really give a shit about Homecoming or Downpour or whatever else is. I don't even know the other ones. I think, what's the one about the trucker? Shit. I can't remember. Anyway, after, like, in my opinion, if you're going to play a Silent Hill game, play 1, 2, 3, 4. After that, just kind of go away from it. But 2 is the best. Oh, I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil anything. I want to say go watch my video, but at the same time, I feel like you should experience this game on your own, by yourself. Just close the door, turn off all the lights. It'd be really great to play it on a dark and stormy night. That'd be perfect. But just close the door, turn off all the lights, no distractions. Just sit there with the glow of the TV, and that's it. And be immersed in this disturbing, screwed world. It's just great. Well, that's it for this video. So if you'd like to leave a comment and subscribe, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Be expecting more uploads on a regular basis. I have a lot of backlog stuff. It's just, like I said, I've been really busy and everything, and school kind of gets in the way, and it's really hard to like juggle like a bunch of different things at once. I'm doing a project on the other side. I'm doing 2 projects on the side that aren't. Well, one is to do with the channel, but I'm evolving the channel from just gaming. I'm evolving it to other forms of media, and you'll see. And I think you guys will like it a lot. Hopefully, you will. I really do. Yeah. Anyway, that'll be it for this, guys. I'll see you in the next video. But in the meantime, peace.